Champion of freedom and justice. What's that? Y'all baking this morning? Any more bacon? Didn't you get surprised at home?
Baking tonight, right?
Let's see. Alright, and here we're not gonna finish these questions. We're gonna get to number 21. Now one thing I love about this class is we can always find there's always some news story popping up that has to do with whatever we're talking about. And last night I saw something about Thomas Jefferson and the University of Virginia. Did anybody see this? Thomas Jefferson designed a lot of the buildings that they still use at the University of Virginia. He was huge in getting it started and keeping it going. He's the Sam Houston of Virginia, or one of them. There's a group trying to wipe his name off of everything at the University of Virginia. Why would they be trying to do that?
Because they're families.
What did he do that would cause them to say we need to wipe him off the books?
He owned slaves.
He owned slaves. Now, I've told you, in Alabama in the 1930s, I wouldn't have done anything because I don't want pain. I don't want to be killed. I don't want my kids. I want just life to be left alone. Would I have trouble sleeping at night? Probably. I would hope I would. Just seeing what's going on and knowing it's not right. Thomas Jefferson wrote, all men are created equal. They are endowed with their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. He wrote those words while owning slaves. I don't know for a fact, but I've always felt like at some point he was troubled by writing that and owning slaves. I don't know if that's true, but I like to think that. I'm a piece of garbage. Can you believe that, Summer? That I'm a piece of garbage? That'd be hard for you to believe. Thank you. Oh, yeah. But if you ask Christy, she'll go, oh yeah, he's a piece of garbage. He's stupid. I did some things in my past I'm not happy about. But hopefully I've also done some good things in later years. The negative things a human does doesn't negate the positive things they do. If you dig deep enough, you're going to find some horrible garbage about every single person. Owning slavery, owning slaves. Okay, I hate even saying that. Having slaves was horrible. But that doesn't take away from the good things that he did and what he did to help start this country. Now, we had slaves in this country for two reasons. One was prejudice. Two was economics. Because you can't raise tobacco and cotton and make money off it unless you have free labor. So that's why they did it. Now, is everybody in here the little brother or little sister? What happened to you growing up? You get the crowd. Because you tell the big brother, here's what you're going to do. And then they go find the little brother and say, okay, this is what you're doing. That's just how it goes. Throughout history, you find the weakest and the poorest, and you attack them. And so we had guns. People in Africa didn't. Therefore, we went and got them because we can push them around. If Thomas Jefferson owning slaves doesn't make what he wrote smaller. Does that make sense? What he wrote was great and true. And we don't need to look at this part of his life and say, well, then that's crap. You can be garbage and great at the same time, because human beings are all garbage. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. Let's look at, we're on 17, right? Social contract theory. The Enlightenment. Was that? Yeah.
Go on.
Personal law. Yeah, let's go to personal law.
Yeah, well, not all of them, how many do I need?
I don't know. I don't need one.
Like, I'm gonna go and sign up for lunch. And then,
So that's what, do you have all the stuff to do, you want to do?
I don't know anything except for the trash bags, for the windows. I always do the thing right there, and I was like, no, I ain't got my trash.
I got 3, so Chris, do you want them? Oh, okay, do you want
All right, social contract. You wrote down enlightenment yesterday, right? In the Renaissance, that's where they started realizing humans had talent. And the Enlightenment's when they started realizing humans had rights. Now, around the Renaissance, the Protestant Reformation happens, where I'm not anti-Catholic at all, but a lot of the Catholic Church was corrupt at that time, and they didn't let people read the Bible on their own, so they told them what the Bible said, and then they could tell them, if your uncle dies, you can pay for him to go to heaven. And so they said, okay, so they... Anyway, Martin Luther said this is garbage, and put the 99 Thesis on the church door at Wittenberg. See, I'm not a complete buffoon, I know some things. And that started the Protestant Reformation. There was an invention invented at the same time. Y'all know what that is? Printing press. So now these ideas can spread quickly all over the world. 1700s, you have these people writing about human rights. What else is going on at the same time in the 16 and 1700s? Some people are doing something. Going somewhere. Where are they going in the 16 and 1700s? To America. So these ideas of human rights and freedom and corrupt government is coming to age at the same time people are coming to America. So the social contract theory, the word social means what? What's the word social mean? People. It means people. And contract means agreement. So, Hobbes is the guy that does the social contract theory. He said that government power comes from the people. Government power originates with the people. They allow that government to be in place. That's where the agreement, that's where the contract is. They have a contract with the government. When the government messes up enough, the people will rise up and kick that government out because they broke the contract. So power begins with the people. They allow this government to be in power. When the government messes up enough, the people are going to rise up against it. In China, for years, I had no idea how, is this still running? Y'all see?
I think so.
Okay. For years, I would wonder how you can have a Chinese dictatorship, communist dictatorship, but also have almost a capitalist economy and let companies make profits while being communist. And a couple years ago, about 3 weeks before all that Corona crap happened, Miss Carruthers was had a phone thing going on in her class for a friend of hers who worked in China. And I asked her, I was like, I've always wondered this, can you explain that? She goes, well, basically, what she said was, the communist part is everyone has to walk in line, keep their head down, and do what they're told to do. And if you do that, they will allow you to make a profit. If you start questioning, acting up, now the crackdown happens. And people just vanish in China. There's no rights. You just, all of a sudden this person's gone and they're not coming back. They either go to prison, they get killed, who knows. I know the dictator of China a few years ago said 1 million Chinese is nothing. Meaning there is no individual that's worth anything. 1 million of you aren't worth anything. So in China, it would take a lot, there are weapons, for the people to rise up against the government. But if it got to a situation where it was bad enough and enough people were together and they could get some military people with them, they could overthrow the government. So the social contract makes sense. We good? All right. John Locke, the guy behind the natural rights theory, what did he believe? What did he believe? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and property. What would he believe in?
Freedom.
All humans have rights and should be free. This is what we were talking about. All humans. The slaves were humans. And so I don't know if this is true, but I like to think for a lot of these people that they really meant that, but didn't know how to go about implementing that in that society. I know some people in the South did free some of the slaves that were on their property. Some of them treated them as family members. Some of them were horrifically harsh and horrible to them. Not every slave was treated the same. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. What do you know about him? Just saying his name. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. You know anything about him? He's French. I took 3.5 years of French. Are y'all, does that shock some of y'all? I hope it does, because I don't want to come across as a guy who studies French. I hated French. But I was in high school, I knew the French teacher, so I took it for 2 years, didn't learn anything, made B's. Went to college, I had to have 3 semesters of a foreign language, so I went in and took French, because I've already been 2 years, maybe something. And after like the first or second day, the teacher calls me up once again and says, what are you doing in this class? I said, well, I have to have this for to be a teacher. She said, you're not going to go to France ever? I said, no, never. I promise I'm going to go to France. So, okay, tell you what, you do your work, keep the class engaged and entertained, and I'll give you a B. I said, yes, ma'am, I will do that. And so whenever we did the little conversations, because a lot of times in foreign language class, you get together and do like little plays, or you're just talking conversations. And I would do the dumb stuff. I would take an English word and put a leg in front of it, or an S at the end to make it French. Like, she'll lift a little weights, and that's in the class. Oh, what an idiot! They laugh at that. I got a B. All right. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He thought government was the source. Misspell that. The source of corruptness. That the government created a corruptness in people. And that's pretty much true. Because did I do the cookie dough in here one day? If I'm trying to pass out cookie dough, I'm going to get more than y'all. that's what happens. Somebody's in power, eventually they're going to abuse that. Whenever I cook, if I'm grilling something, what happens before I bring the food inside? I eat it. Number one, I have to see if it's okay. And if it is okay, I like cooking the cheap hamburgers. Get the box of hamburgers, put your Worcestershire on it, and you spice it up good, and you cook them on the fire, and those are amazing. I can eat 3 of those like they're nothing. I'll eat at least 2 before I come in the house. Why do I get to do that? Because I'm cooking, I'm doing the work, so I deserve to get to. So human beings are corrupt. The boys always get mad because they put food in the refrigerator, and the next morning I'd eat it. Did you eat? Yes, the refrigerator. I pay for the refrigerator, so I get what's in it. They would write their name on it. I thank you for the gift. I appreciate y'all buying me something to eat. So that's Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Government is the source of corruption. All right, eminent domain. Y'all heard of eminent domain before, probably. You never heard of it? Okay. How many of y'all come from that direction to come to school? Describe that. Pleasant, fun, it's horrible. At some point, are they going to have to widen and expand the roads around here?
Yes.
Yes, they are. That's a have to. To do that, what will have to happen? We'll have to acquire the property. Landowners have to go in a little bit and buy their land. And the people will get a letter that says, we're going to buy we need to purchase 0.635 acres of your land, and we're going to pay you market value this much. Check yes or no. If you check yes, you get a check in the mail, or they put money in your bank account. If you say no, you go to court, and you get to pay court costs, and then they buy your property. Eminent domain means the government can purchase your property for the good of the whole. They don't take it, they pay for it. You have to pay for it. If you fight it in court, you might get less, but they're never going to tell you to pay $5 for something that's worth $500. If it's worth this much, that's how much they're going to offer you a market value. With a road, can we see how that's necessary? That has to happen. If you don't expand the road that's here, you have to buy more land and build a brand new road and take more land. So they'd rather just, when I first moved here in 97, 380 was 2 lanes all the way in. And they expanded it, had to purchase property, and expanded it for safety, not just for pleasant, but for safety, for people's safety. Now let's go to Arlington. In the early 2000s, the voters of Arlington voted to build Cowboy Stadium there. And I grew up going to Ranger games, and the old stadium, the old stadium and the new stadium, the old stadium's not there anymore. We would drive through neighborhoods to get there. They're just houses. So they're going to put Cowboy Stadium there. People there got a letter saying the city of Arlington is going to purchase your property for this much money. Check yes or no. The ones that checked yes got their money, they moved. The ones that said no went to court, paid court costs, and then the city bought their property. Is that different than a road? It's a stadium because Jerry Jones makes money off that. People aren't making money off the road. The Cowboys make a profit. And so the city of Arlington basically, they paid for like half of it. It was basically giving a billionaire something to make more money with. So a lot of people were against that. That's not the same as building a road that you kind of have to have. Even if they're taking your property, you want it because you want the road. You drive that road every day. You understand and you get it. Why would the city of Arlington vote to tear those houses down and put a stadium there?
Bring more people.
And money. Jobs and money. The city of Arlington gets billions of dollars every year because of that stuff. Okay. The government gets millions of dollars a year. The city of Arlington gets billions of dollars a year in revenue, restaurants, hotels, all that kind of stuff. Plus there's jobs created. So is eminent domain good or bad?
Good.
It's both. It's good because we're able to build roads, build highways. And it's bad because you might not want to sell your property, but you end up having to. If you got a job because of that stadium, are you glad eminent domain exists? If you had to move, you didn't want to, are you glad eminent domain exists? No. So it is both good and bad. If somebody wants to buy my house and they want to give me a big enough check, I'll move out today. I'll get it moved out before the game. Even if I have to miss part of the game, okay, Coach Cook, I'll be there. I got kickoff. I got to move everything out of my house. But it has to be the right price. So I would be one of the ones that said yes. So I don't want to live in Arlington, but I could live like in Albany or, I could buy like 2-3 acres and build the same house for what that costs there. Can't do that here. We almost sold our house a couple years ago, but we would have made a killing off of it, but then whoever we paid to build the house would get a killing also. We wouldn't be any better off. Told Cole about that time, I said, well, if nothing else, you and Pastry get to split. Sell this house and split it. He goes, well, there's Totten too. Oh yeah, thirds. Sorry. You have to split 3 ways. God, I wonder what. Okay, Colt has a job. If we weren't here anymore, I wonder, would the boys, Pacer would try to take care of him. Colt would probably call him once every couple months. I don't know if he'd try to take care of him. He probably would. And North Korea, South Korea. This is the last one we're going to do. I'll show you a picture. This explains North and South Korea. Here's South Korea. Right there. Here's North Korea. What's the difference? Describe South Korea. What do you know about their economy?
Boom.
It's booming, it's good. There's commerce happening here. It's modern. All right? What do you know about North Korea? It's not modern. Their economy they're pretty backwards. That bright light is the capital, and most of that light is the dictator's house. He's up playing Xbox. And the dictator is grossly overweight. The people are walking skeletons. So this economy works. This one doesn't. You can probably look at this government and say, that government's okay. This one, there's probably something wrong with it.
They can't leave.
No. They get shot. You can leave. You see the video a couple years ago, the guy driving through the barricade and they were shooting at him, he was running away, like 2 or 3 years ago.
You actually made it and just stop.
Yeah. Now the thing about this is the same people. These people are the same. Same culture, same history, same race. Everything is the same except the government. So North Korea is a tyrannical communist dictatorship where the emperor, whatever his name is, not this one, but his dad, the first time he played golf, had 13 holes in one. Isn't that amazing? First time he bowled a 300, which is perfect. Greatest athlete ever in the history of the world. No, that was a lie. It was a lie. They can't have pictures in their house of their family, but they have to have pictures of the dictator in the house. He's God. Yeah. So South Korea, thriving free enterprise democracy. North Korea, tyrannical dictatorship. Kim Jong-un.
Coach Rob,
Yes.
would you mind taking a picture of us from Gonna Be Real?
Good what?
Gonna Be Real.
Is that another new one?
Wait, class.
Come up with?
When you're done teaching.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I've never heard of it. When they start that?
run. It was like last year.
What's the difference between Be Real and snapping and grabbing?
Uh,
Is it pretty much the same? It's not new.
yeah, it's like basically you're supposed to be real. Like whenever the time goes on, you're supposed to take pictures.
Teachers, you may now post attendance.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
I like hold it up.
I'm gonna invent one where you have to like work out to do it, and you have to like maybe read a book.
Everybody in the world gets the same time.
Can put it up. Yeah.
That way?
Yeah.
Okay. Just push the circle.
And then wait a second.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
That's it.
Smile now.
Here you
Wait a minute, show a picture of me. No,
We'll delete it.
no,
Okay.
I don't exist.
I know it took 2 people to go with that.
Okay, don't worry, I'll delete it.
That
Yes,
is hilarious.
we're not doing
I
that.
thought it did 2 pictures on the back. That is
I did too.
That is so funny. I'm so sorry. That is hilarious.
What is?
Because normally, like, if you do it on the front, normally it'll take one on the front and then the back. And then normally if you start it on the back, it'll take 2 on the back. Yes, it doesn't do that.
So you took a picture of yourself first.
Normally. Well, no, normally you can go like this and then you can flip it around and you can like take another one with your back camera.
But if like you start on the back, it's supposed to like take the back and then you can flip it.
I'll say this, I never say this word or admit it exists, but one time in my life, I took a selfie.
With who?
Cole and Pacer, and we were at Lambeau Field at a game. Mama had little Cotton. He was asleep, so she took him under. And I said, "It's the third quarter." And I said, "Boys, stand up." So we're taking a picture.
Selfie.
I only see 2 people. I only see you.
Well,
They're like,
we weren't gonna go.
But I don't see anybody else.
It's just their eyes.
It's just you.
Rolling for
That's
the
it.
faster.
That was perfect. That's the family photo. Everybody perfect.
Love that cool organization.
It was cold. Like 20. We sat next to the people behind us were from Scotland or England, and the people beside us were from Mexico. That's what the Packers are. Everybody. All over the world. We bought, and we took a. You know how when it rains, start off with the plastic on my foot.
Hunter wants to know your secret. How you keep them on your feet.
You just put the bag in the ice bag, like a sock, and put the shoe on the outside, and it keeps the feet
Well,
dry.
Hunter, he puts them in his cleats, but his feet eat them, is what he says.
They tear. I double it,
He doubled it too.
and I double it, and I leave a little bit on the end because if you pull it tight, then it's gonna rip and tear.
Oh, well, Hunter, he put 2 on each foot, and then by the end of practice, they're just at the end of the shoe.
Well, yeah, that is hard. I'm just kind of standing. I'm not doing all that.
Yeah. He's wondering how to keep them on. So I told him you should get a rubber band.
There you go.
Or like,
Or
you know,
they'll-
like the little ear, like the little rubber bands that girls use in their hair. Like the tiny, tiny
I'm
ones.
married to one. I went out with some. I do know about those.
The
I know about a lot of things now about girls that I didn't know. I've purchased things at the store. Somebody did. I know. I didn't even know what kind. I didn't know what kind to ask for.
You ask me.
Yeah.
Well, like
You
if
know,
I don't, I know where to go. If I need to ask for it, I'm have no problem
you know
asking.
exactly where you're asking.
So, I know so.
Good job, Coach.
I'm just thankful. God knew He was good, and that I don't need to be in that kind of situation and helping someone other than the wife with some of that. I'm just going to. Hazel was glad he didn't have to put pants on. Because if he had a sister, he said, "No, put the pants on." And I'm like, yes, no pants. I was like, haven't explained type yet. But had several talks with Uncle Basic. And I thought I was doing okay. Remember we had that pool? We was putting the pool up and I had to run electric line from the box to the pool. And Colt's helping me and I got the wire and then I got the plastic, whatever was inside it. And I tell Colt, hey, hand me that female over there. He goes, what? I said, hand me the. Okay. Because I tried, I didn't get graphic with it, I just was explaining how much roles and all that kind of stuff. I said, look, here's the male in it, here's the female in it. And he goes, okay, alright. And we just acted like that didn't exist and we didn't talk, get that thing. So Mom explained it, everything's good. I'm glad I told her I did. Never talked with Todd yet. He did see it, an animal show.
Oh my goodness. It was on YouTube.
No, it was a.
Oh, well, there's this show on YouTube that my little cousins will watch, and they'll like go about a certain species,
Yeah.
and then they go in depth and they explain everything.
This one just showed when a tiger getting born. He goes, it's coming out of his butt. Mom, did I come out of your butt? Like, Mom looked at me and said, no tiger didn't come out of my butt. How did I get out? So God makes a way. Actually, you got out. They cut you out. It cost us a lot of money to get you out. And he ruined everything from the get-go. He twisted all the doctor comes in and says, we're gonna have a C-section. I'm mad because how much it costs, and she's mad that she has to go through all that. She stood up and walked. Like 2 hours after the C-section. And the nurse comes in and said, I've never seen anybody do this. You're amazing. And I was like, yes. Come on, Chris. So we're supposed to go for a walk every once in a while. I said, let's go. So we walked down the hall. I said, come on, let's go. Keep going. Keep going. She said, I can't. Come on, Chris. You can. You can. No, the track coach comes out. Let's go. If you do this, let's do this. Let's get. No, I really can't. I'm the first guy I had to do that. Imagine the first time you're a doctor. That's the first time you do that. That would be. You can't mess up. I mean.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I went to.
Oops. Oh, you want to see a picture of a C-section? I'll show you one.
If I don't look too bad.
You can see little Christy's guts. Actually, I think it's mainly the umbilical cord.
Yeah, that's something I have to shock. Blood, you can move. And I was like, oh my gosh. You can see his finger.
Whenever you drag him, it makes me laugh so much. I don't know what
The other day, I was on my pillow.
On your pillow.
No, right here, look.
Oh.
That was like, I'm sure you know what happened.
Oh my gosh.
That's my first sight of Little Tiny was him. Oh no.
I was not to me.
It was getting both of them. That's not what that is. That's
Or like the placenta.
But it's.
Wait, when they have the baby, they eat it? Yeah, some people.
They send it in, and these people turn it into where you can eat it. It's supposed to be really good for you.
We're the only species that's not normal.
It's because we are
We're the only ones.
Well,
We are not dogs.
Well, yeah, the animals do it, so I guess they thought that it'd be okay that we did it. So it's
when Colt was born, the doctor was like one of those real dry, quiet nurses. And Colt comes out and he goes, and it's they just grab mic or nothing, and Chuck went, he said, okay, here comes the second one. And Christy goes, what? I said, Christy, even I know. So it was whatever.
Listen.
Here comes the
That
second
actually
one.
makes me nauseous. Why would anybody do that?
With cold. We didn't take any classes, because see, Christy, I help people breathe all the time. You probably know. Her mom or her cousin were in there. And what I told her what I'll do is, because we're not, look at me, people, we're real high in the back. So I said, I'll just hold your hand, and I'll just kind of give you a rhythm. I just kind of squeeze, and you just kind of breathe on that rhythm. Okay? So I'll do that. And they come running over there, like, 1, 2, 3, and Christy's like, we're freaking out. And, hey, Coach McCormick, you remember Coach McCormick? He came in and was talking to me, and then he left. And pretty soon, the doctor said, okay, we need to figure out who's really going to be in here, because it's fixed to happen. She said, I don't care if McCormick's in here, let's just give it over to him. And I was nervous. She had it. It was really cold. I had NFL films tape playing, so I got him and just showed him for a second, just to what the first thing. Joe Native, he saw Joe Native was the first thing he ever saw. That's a brand new baser. Right out of the oven. I think he still has a jug on it. Too cold, they like each other now. He does. I don't mind it though. I like the hair. Play Saturday. This is part of Saturday. It's just crazy.
All they do is watch film and nothing else.
Yeah, we stay there all the time. Watching film.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go there.
Why is there a 20 right here?
Because Nash Ingram and Arturo was fighting over it, and it tore them in. So we just
I asked Mr. Mathis if I could have a phone dance, and he told me most likely, but I had to ask Mr. Fletcher. So I mailed him, but he hasn't sent any feedback. But if he says yes, and he does, I got a banner that I don't know what dance.
That's awesome.
Ruben Danza.
Who win? I'm not sure. Last time we had a homecoming dance. Okay, here we go. We weren't that good. And they lost. They were 0-10 the year before. And then we were getting better, and we beat Lindsay. And Lindsay had gone 2 rounds deep the year before, and they were going to win the district. And we beat them. And all the coaches showed up at the dance, and we did the train dance. Love winning games.
Well, I can't have it Friday, but they said it was good.
Right, Saturday after. Good. Y'all not tripping? No. Got a lot of extra.